this one plays out. Novus Orsa will be first pick, first ban. The Papis will get the secondary option, which means they get an option in the counterban stage with.
Why do Papis have so much hype? Because there's like a big Spanish community that I feel like doesn't support any team like as a biased opinion, but then with Papis all being Spanish, that's like their team to be biased towards, so they just love them, and it's just like it's how they are in football too, or soccer, whatever you call it.
To get to that point, but now they're facing old.
So Fafnir ban, perfect. Circuit ban, pretty good. Susano is not a bad ban too. I feel like you could have banned a different god. Depends on what they want to play. Like they could have banned the Terror too. That would have been a nice ban. But they may want to play it. I don't think Frezzy plays that sort of god though. We'll find out in a moment. I also leave CERN open too. Hunbats. See that just leaves the Terror open now. Terror and CERN. I don't know why you'd first pick Bats. Don't know why you'd first pick Vulcan. Not too sure. I guess the Vulcan pick's okay. There's the Terror, that's nice. Still feel like they could have picked CERN. Maybe they don't mind playing against it. Like personally, I don't. That's why I just let it through. But you can definitely first pick it. It's not a pick to be joked around with. So here you have a Khepri. Khepri's a nice pick. I guess I didn't mind going against Terror. It's Khepri. Me personally, I hate it, but Khepri still has the upper hand, I think, until level 5. Bologna pick. I like it. I want to see an Osiris here. It has to be an Osiris. Give me Osiris. Oh, they might even pick CERN. I don't know. Erlang Shen, I think that's okay. I feel like they could have picked CERN instead. Maybe if they picked a CERN and they saved the Erlang for after picks and bans. After bans, sorry. Morrigan ban. Yeah, to stop the double Humbats ult. Humbats ban. I guess they banned their own god. So do you have to re-pick this? Good job. The Hades is not good because of Sunder. There's a Poseidon ban. That's it's okay. I feel like they could have banned a Hunter instead. A Wheelix, that's nice. A Wheelix is good versus bats. I don't know who this ban is. I guess they passed it maybe. Medusa pick. So these guys should lose pressure in dual lane. They should have already lost pressure in dual lane now. Yeah, they lost pressure. So that puts a lot of heat onto the Medusa. So she is going to be behind. Or Terror is, one of the two. On a Zonkui. I guess this is something spicy that they're trying. Zong and Hunbats. Depends on what jungle. I think they may have pressure. May. See, I'm not an expert. I just know dual lane, and I know this dual lane is like fucking OP compared to that shit. Nemesis. Yeah, so these guys are gonna have pressure. Pressure everywhere in the map. So these have to look for a level 5 fight again. I think they could win a level 5 fight. It's gonna be very hard though. Look at this. Hunbats, Khepri, Zongqui. So like you can't kill the Zong anyway, so imagine him with a Khepri ult. And a Khepri too. Bologna, raid boss, unkillable. Yeah, I think Novus has this in picks and bans.
To Zhangqi
just to be able to get that ultimate off every single time.
Tolly, you know more about solo lane than me. Erlang Shen up against Bologna. Who are we favouring in this match?
Ja, 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 ja.
In the long run, it's going to favor Rebound here on the Bologna just because once he uses the bludgeon, he's going to permanently have that hammer hitting AoE, whereas iCreed X on the Erlang Shen, he's only going to have that AoE splash on his third hit in the attack chain.
Now, Axios in the jungle for Novus Orsa here today. He replaced Frostiak in the jungle role for Lion Guard, now known as Novus Orsa. But Axios used to play, if you recognize his name, he played for Cringe Crew in the solo lane for a split for a little while. Now entering the jungle in the Pro League, we'll see how he can do here alongside Shadow Nightmare.
That's really nice poke. They're getting flanked though. The solo should be calling this. Yeah, exactly what they needed.
And there's no escape for the big fat man right now. He'll get under the tower. Oh, will he get first blood? No, he'll live. Creed couldn't take one more tower shot, but
He should have been dead. This guy should be dead right now. And Papis did definitely the perfect thing. That's what they should have done. That's how they should have started, but they failed. As I said, look at the dueling. Look how pressured they are. Now they've lost buffs. They've lost all their buffs now. Everything's gone.
Opportunity to look for that level 1 gank, and if they can even find a kill, that's going to be a huge lead, even if they do miss out on half a wave in the soul lane.
Well, pressure in the mid lane for the Papis, but on the left-hand side, Novus also did manage to invade the purple buff early on with that Capri Rama up against the Terror and the Medusa. That's to be expected, but now it's level 2. It could be a bit of a different story. Frezzy's in trouble.
Warchi dashing into Frezzy, and Frezzy yet again.
What's he doing?
Occurrence. He's always trying to look for an early fight, despite his Hunter not looking for the same option.
That's how they shouldn't be fighting. They should be fighting to get level 3 first, and then fighting into Deming lane. Only take a fight like that if you're gonna win it. Don't just randomly go, 2, 1, yeah, let's go, let's go. Oh. You have to think about the consequences of why the fuck you're going in. What do you expect to go into that?
There for Ojo Boom, it relieved a lot, and now with the kill in the left-hand side too, Papis are technically controlling every lane.
So now the pressure they had is gone. So now Papis actually have a chance of winning. It's not going to snowball one direction now.
5 for Rebound is going to still be on the same pace. The problem is getting all this poke outside of the tower is not going to help him stay in the lane.
Yeah, it's an extra potion advantage right now in that solo lane for Creed on that Erlang Shen. You can see he's got 2 multi-potions, 2 normal left. Whereas Rebound, he's only sat on the 1-on-1, and with no blue buff either, he's going to be a little bit further behind as time goes on. But because of the sharing going on, it's even for now.
Definitely the dream scenario for a solo laner, to have your jungler who had a lot of presence in the mid lane because of your early rotation. So therefore, Shadow Nightmare and Axios doesn't really have much control on either side of the jungle. We saw so many different kind of styles of aggressiveness between Papis, between the left and the right-hand side. Haven't really been getting successful in terms of the right side mid-Harpies or the Elementals, but with this advantage in the solo lane for Creed, he's looking to continue to be a big old bully.
And the Erlang Shen, not something we've seen too much of. We've seen more of the Osiris, more of the Bologna, more of the Raven in this lane than the Erlang Shen that just comes in now and again. But that start that he did onto Zhonghui in the mid lane slowed down Shadow Nightmare enough to make an impact there as well, and just giving them an advantage in the solo lane for the time being with all the pressure Dalo's given him.
And you saw the way he initiated that by going, instead of going for the root, he went for the Link at level 1, which increases his attack speed. He's going to be able to chase down the Zhonghui even faster. Had he had Sunder, that would have been a kill, but still having the teleport puts him in a great position to stay in this lane in case things go south and not lose too much and still be able to recover.
Let's just keep Rebound in check is all we're going to be looking for Creed.
I give you the builds right now and supports. Khepri has gone hog. Why is a Khepri gonna hog? He's gonna win the pressure anyway. There's no need for it. And he definitely should not be team fighting in the lane with a hog as a relic, whereas the other guys have shell, which is not a bad starter item. So let's see how this fight goes.
And then he finishes the shell, does come out, and now Shadow Nightmare gets turned on by 2. Walls come crashing down, Shadow Nightmare not body blocked to high heaven, but the Vulcanaut was good. Still though, Shadow Nightmare's alive, but Frezzy's ult is not going to keep him alive for long. Shadow goes down to Dalo, as a big meatball comes out in the backfire to Rebound 2. Still in the mix is Creed, as are the same.
Frezzy is absolutely fucking useless in his fight. He stood there doing nothing. He needs to call this to his team. He needs to say, I can't do anything, disengage. There's no way you're going to win a fight just off a Khepri ult like that. Not a level 6 song, not a level 5 song, whatever level he is, he has to be higher for him to have that sort of impact. He needs his items online. Sitting there and doing nothing, he needs to be more aggressive to his team and tell them what to do. If he's in such a shit position, he needs to call off the defense. They need to go back to farming and then invade them on their speed respawn. That's the only way you can regain the lead back.
Doesn't do too much damage where it's going to one-shot you.
Sure.
So it didn't pop the Khepri ultimate. Not only that, the level 1 mindset of the Terra player here going...
If you look, the Terra has gone tank boots. And the Khepri has gone cooldown boots. You're going to be behind the whole game. What's the point in getting cooldown? You're going to lose fights. It doesn't matter how many spells you cast in what speed. You're going to lose them anyway. The only reason you'd have the cooldown boots is for the mana, and you can have a 50 gold mana pot, as well as your Teleria boots or your tank boots. Me personally, I would have went tank boots, because Nemesis is actually going to fucking shred him. Especially with that, we're having a bluestone too. That's 2 extra ticks on your, I mean that's 3 stacks on your boots regardless.
Spot here. They've definitely been practicing this kind of invades time in and time out. The respawn of the speed buff happens around the 345 mark after the first wave. Every single jungler goes for their own speed buff.
The Humbats just didn't share the wave in middle. He didn't share them, even the melees, so he just lost so much fucking XP.
It's putting them in a great spot heading towards the mid game.
Well, the second hog in 2 games I've seen so far. Frezzy has started with a hog on Khepri this game. Did manage to hog away one of those oracles there just to make sure it's an even split. No one has ward coverage advantage over the Novus Orsa now that they've placed a ward down of their own. Flurry Q in the dual lane up against Warchi with that 1 level lead. You can see that Warchi did go for full boots here, not gone straight into the Transcendence. But now that Flurry Q has the sustain on Devour's gauntlets, he can take a little bit of poke and just resustain it back off the minions once more.
And that was the whole point, which is why we saw Frezzy going in here again on the right-hand side. Terra Blessing
That's
being
fine.
popped. Slow, not on
Guess
the
what's on
mark
the
for
left, though,
Axios.
Tully? Guess what's on the left? The Gold Fury's being done. The snipes are coming out from Flurry Q looking to steal it away, but he won't.
They just gave the Gold Fury up for that little skirmish on the Erlang, and the Humbats didn't ult. Maybe because he's behind, I don't know, but he didn't ult.
Forced into a defensive ultimate. Good job by Dalo zoning out too, while Shadow9 is left in a 1v2.
Oh, we can't get Ojo.
Nice. So sweet, aren't you? See, Shadow is fucking up here having a skirmish on his own where he could have went back and peeled the Nemesis, and he would have saved Frezzy and the Humbats' life too. I'm not sure why he just went up there for a skirmish. I guess he thought the game was over or something. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it is to me.
Marino in response. So far it's been a 2-for-2 in this little engagement. Still trying to get something going is the 2 solo laners. Nice little rotation from both of them. And we just saw a complete discombobulation here between Novus Orsa, just spreading themselves out too thin. We saw Shadow9 going all the way to the north-hand side, while 2 players were too busy dealing with the Nemesis underneath.
And the Nemesis underneath, Dalo 3-0-2 in this game so far. You don't want to fed Nemesis. She's generally a mid to late game god at best, but get her ahead early and put her against a Zhonghui. It's going to cause even more problems for Novus also as time goes on. The Portal Demon not available just yet, but the Elementals do go the way of the Papis on the right, sorry, the left-hand side, I should say, went the way of Novus also for a second. But Rebound's in a bit of trouble here on this right now. Pressure from Dalo and Creed once again. Not enough to bring him down, but it will force him back to base.
It's all about the timing because of the fact that the teleport
What's up,
is
Nico,
still
man?
cooldown for another 2 minutes. Missing out a whole wave here is going to allow the rest of the Poppies to also take advantage by chipping away at this tier 1 tower. Axios making the rotation here, but without the ultimate for another 5 seconds, not going to be able to...
Yeah, I think that's the problem with Novus. I've never seen any of these players in ranked. I just don't think they play the game anymore. There's no reason to have a hog on Khepri when you have pressure. You should only ever get a hog if you don't have pressure and you're scared of getting your shit taken by everyone and you don't want to lose your own buffs, you know, so you can secure them or at least invade and then secure their buffs for sure in the same speed and the same safety.
Guard after your boot has been completed, trying to mitigate a lot of the damage. It works a little bit more efficiently against the Bluestone Pennant kind of gods here, not necessarily against the Death's Toll, but either way, that passive is going to do wonders also against the Khepri, also the Zhonghui, if you're looking at the side of Creed.
Well, a little bit surprised that you saw Axios hanging around that turret that was on the ground from Ojo Boom, but that gave away this game. Shadow Nightmares on his own and isolated. Fear No Evil doesn't really do much to slow them down. Ojo Boom's
Is gonna die.
Extra speed coming out from Frezzy will not get him the
Simple
kill.
mechanics.
Fire is good. Creed from the backside ults onto Frezzy, and Frezzy's pinned in place. He already dead before the Eagles rally.
I swear these players do not play Guardians. Like, how could you run into that tower and think you were gonna die in time then? It was impossible.
The Papis get 2 again in the mid lane.
The strategy of Novus Orsa have been read like a book from the Papis. You just pop 2 ultimates from both Shadow Nightmare and Frezzy. You let the Jean Kui go ham, dive that tier 1 tower, but couldn't time the death fast enough to find the revive bubble, and then things just went.
I felt like that was actually a good fight for Novus. If they were even, I feel like they would have won that fight. And maybe if they were winning, Shadow may have not dived the tower. Maybe it was just a he's given up attitude to it. Like, I hope not. The game is, it kind of is over, but they can still make a mistake. It sucks how you have to work on their mistakes, but it happens.
It's up 2. Novus also are in trouble here, Toli.
Normally, the SPL caliber team is the ones that are making the plays like this, but Novus Orsa are actually looking like the challenger circuit time around. Papis have definitely been doing a lot of work, and mostly it's been taking advantage of this Jean Kui out of Shadow Nightmare.
It's not worked out so far, and we've seen Shadow Nightmare in the past. He's always the one that will not necessarily pull out the oddball, but the unusual that we don't see too often. He was one that brought Kulkan out for a
Captain No Skills, thanks to the Twitch Prime, bro.
With the likes of Jean
Appreciate it, man.
But it's not looked this bad for a while, and it's a little bit awkward for Novus Orsa here.
What a great route there coming out of Erlang Shen. Being able to...
I'll tell you right now why he's got Hog.
Hola.
It's because he cleared the first wave evenly.
Hola.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Get the fuck out of my team speak. Are you streaming?
God damn it, Yamin. He screwed me now.
Go towards the left.
Bit of a collapse from Novus Orsa.
I can't push to talk because it's on my back kit.
Because there's nothing else for them to really do.
Someone tell Yamin to shut up. Okay, so what he's done, he's cleared the first wave evenly, and then gone to the purple and hogged the red. Or hogged the purple and gone to the red. Just so he can get to lane faster and kill them. But there's no point. You can do that, and then run to the purple buff, and then stop them from invading your shit and kill them there. Because you're ahead, and you have 2 buffs. You can fight regardless. So what the hog's for, I do not know.
Ultimate on Shadow Nightmare, straight away, Meatball 2. Still Shadow Nightmare under pressure as well. This time the ult from Frezzy will come through. As Axios is cleaned up, the Vulcan ult will force the Aegis out of Shadow Nightmare. The Fat Man's still trying to run, but he's got nowhere to go now. The Ghosts come out, but the Ghost will go the same way as Shadow Nightmare. Back to the fountain.
Flurryq looking for the snipes, but it's not going to be too meaningful here. Nobody's low enough for him to execute, and I love what the Papis did there. They baited out the Khepri ultimate so quickly onto Shadow Nightmare, but they switched all...
This game's fucking over, man. No, they've not played the game enough to consider, like, how important the relegations are. The relegations are actually worth so much money because it guarantees you spot into the SPL. And even if you place last in the SPL, you get a significant amount of money to be playing a computer game. So you have to take that shit serious. Like, maybe they're a team that wants to be number 1, and they feel like their teammates are not putting in the effort, so then they don't do it. They don't want to put the effort in. But I just feel like there's a lack of smite in that team. They all just feel like, it feels like 1v1v1v1v1v5. And I feel like because they're playing so badly together, it's making Papis look a bit better than they are. Because I've seen some team fights they've taken, and they've been really bad, but maybe they're just taking any team fight because they know they've won.
Minutes. The level difference in every single role is getting out of hand. And don't forget, you want level 12 for relics. You need those second relics, and not one player, Novus Orsa, I believe, has a second relic available to them right now. Scratch that, just rebound in the solo lane as the Portal Demon is started by the Papis.
Trying to get more gold into their pocket of 750 to be exact. Credited towards the Papis, not able to find anything in response.
Good body block.
Oh, they're body blocks.
Body block to high heaven, which means Papis can collapse a little bit more. Although Creed changes his mind when he sees Shadow Nightmare again. The fader wheel from Axios just to defend his mid laner, but that leaves Frezzy alone, who ults himself, stunned in place by the walls dropping down from Draco. And Warchi will claim his 7th life.
What am I witnessing here? What the fuck, man?
It still gives you that movement speed modifier to be able to still get out of danger, but just too much damage and control coming.
They can't defend this now because Humbat's uses ult.
They're not done yet, despite the split push coming out of Flurryq.
That's
Papis want this tier 2 in mid.
over a 10k lead.
By Creed, and Dalo picks him up. The Vulcan fireworks.
I want to see an F6.
All it was. Rebound's gonna get a tier 1. Left hand side, Flurryq will get a tier 1. but the
Phoenix.
Papis will get a Phoenix.
They want it so badly. They're still here.
It's a
all
free
the way up.
Phoenix.
Creed made the rotation towards left just to stop the tier 2. That's how confident they are, that they don't even need the Erlong Shen. Phoenix going down in the mid lane. Not even 15 minutes in. Not even the Fire Giant.
I mean, they get 2 tier 1 towers, that's all they get. But Axios falls down to Dalo as Warchi wants to get a bit more aggressive onto Frezzy there. Left hand side.
Yeah, it's best out of one group stages, I think.
The Fire Giant is the attention the Papis could turn to already. It's only 15 minutes, but that's what we're looking at here. The Fire Giant's the next thing they need.
Especially with Axios still dead for another 15 seconds. As long as they have somebody to tank it for Warchi, they should be in a good spot. But they're feeling very confident that they don't need to force the issue quite yet. They're going to have a lot of fire minutes flooding down the middle wave, so they're going to rely on somebody from Novus Orsa to defend the mid wave before the Fire Giant gets pulled.
I just don't even know who to look at Novus Orsa right now, because I can't look at Shadow Nightmare and the Zhonghui. He's just too far behind to really make anything happen here.
It's going to be
Maybe
6
throw a
games.
kill on the
4
right
more.
and start
4 more
to
games
get
after
right
this.
now, so maybe we can get some of these cheeky lucky crits coming through. RNGesus?
Well, right now, there's not too much hope for Novus Orsa.
Papis are going to be in the SPL, man.
The game and their draft, it had a lot of
Maybe.
merit, but the problem was you throw one little wrench at it, everything goes downhill. That level 1 gank from Creed X
Was enough.
Despite not finding the kill, was enough to poke out Shadow Nightmare so hard that there was no jungle presence from Axios or Shadow Nightmare.
So, on a serious note, how are we going to see this turned? This game turned? Gauntlet of Watchers into cooldown boots into Thebes. He has 25 protections from each. It's 16 minutes into the game. That is a mage Kepri right there. That's a good build. Just the general build. That's a nice build. I like that. I don't build it myself, but obviously it seems to be working this game. I don't like the Vanguard into Thebes. Even though Thebes is really good, I just don't like Vanguard anymore. I just feel like there's too many items to rush to slow it down with a Vanguard. These could build literally all the mages and Guardians could build anything at this point because of how poorly these guys are built too. The Humbats he couldn't have built differently. The Bologna, he's gone into I can't even remember what the item's called, but he's gone into that and it's not even Mystical Mail, and it's not even going to make a difference this point in the game. He's not going to be able to stick to the backline anyway, he's going to get boxed.
Once again, trying to walk his way back to his base, but he'll take a trip home once again, the faster way.
This could be actually game here. Novus Orsa are sitting without 4 of their members. It's only Frezzy for another 5 seconds until Rebound makes a revive. And Papis, they're looking like they're going to win their first game here,
They
Graham.
could, and that's really important for them too, Tolu, because in the grand scheme of things, they've always been on the cusp, but right now taking game 1 off a Pro League team, we just saw the same thing happen to Sanguine. Is this the split? Is this the relegations where both the challenger teams make it to the SPL and we lose 2 Pro League teams?
It's all about your homework and execution. Papis have done both this game. Novus Orsa look completely sloppy. They only found 2 kills so far, and those 2 kills, they couldn't even get anything off of. The objective control was 100% going the way of the Pop.
Is that a blink on Shadow Nightmare, by the way? That is blink, right?
Yes, that is Blink at level 12 with Gem of Isolation, expecting
Nah,
Blink
you
to use the
just...
ultimate and get revived from
I even know why I'm still talking about it, but going Blink with that build, you're literally gonna vanish. Like, you won't even hear the Blink sound, you're dead that fast. You're just gonna be fucking dead. You're gonna be one-shot by Vulcan, one-shot by Nemesis. If she built crit, you would definitely get one-shot then. There's no way back, no hope, no C9 throws. There's no way on earth any team could throw this. You can't even do anything to win. If you push a lane up, they'll just literally kill your Titan anyway, and you can't. They could probably 1v5 you at this point.
But heading into the 90 minutes, they're sitting with only their mid Phoenix now just respawned. Fire Giant still around the waist for Papis for another minute and a half.
Tell you what though, Toli, the next game that we're going to be going over is Novus Orsa versus Sanguine Esports. both the Pro League teams down a game by the looks of it if the Papis can close this one out. And the loser of that is probably not making it back in the Pro League.
That's a huge momentum downer if somebody loses the next game, because it doesn't look very good here for Novus Orsa. Girdle gets popped and they're going in.
There's the frenzy and there's the all-in potential coming out right now. The Papis looking to clean this one up, and they will do so. Papis manage to take their first game against Novus Orsa. Both the Pro League defenders of their relegation spots have been...
That just... It's just pure... I don't know if it was pure ignorance where Nova thought, we'll win the relegations anyway without scrimming or without playing the game. The meta is in a state where you can't beat people off one, like, my skill versus your skill. It has to be your team skill. It has to be your tactic knowledge. If you get out pressured everywhere, like they drafted perfectly, but then didn't play, sort of copied other people's drafts, but they've not even played it the right way. They've all played. I don't know. I can't explain it. It felt like watching random people run around a maze all hopeless. There's no way you can ever win a game just picking hog up like that. And I don't think that was the turning point. It was the point where he decided to do that shit and then just randomly fight in lane versus a shell. And I think once the shell's popped and you have a hog, it should be an even fight. You should just use your shit and back off. You shouldn't dash in like an idiot. That was an idiot play. It really was. And then, to go no defense, you go Thebes to help your teammates, but they're just going to two-shot you anyway, so there's not going to be a Thebes there for very long, is there, when you get two-shot? They're done though. They're done. They're going to flop this now. There's no way they're going to get back into the Pro League. I just feel like they needed to put more... They needed to treat it like being at Worlds, you know? Because high-res do give a significant amount of money for people even at the bottom of the league. They do give... Like, they treat you better at the bottom than they